I got this little camping cookset from LighTake.com. It's a website I'm not very familiar with, but they have a ridiculous amount of products in all different kinds of categories, most of them for very low prices. This is no exception to that. There is the old saying, you get what you paid for, and this seems like a good chance to check that out. LighTake sent this along to me to review, and the prices there, they seem to change from day to day. This is like an international kind of company. And just over the last couple of days, I saw this set going for both $18.52 and $21.79. So roughly around $20, and currently $6.05 for shipping. You could easily go into one of the big camping outdoor stores and pay up to $100, maybe even more, for a set like this. You're paying for quality, you're paying for a brand name, and it'd be interesting to see how this stacks up to something like that. So let's see what's in here. I have checked these contents out before, but I haven't actually used the stove yet. Comes in this mesh bag, which seems like kind of a nice little extra touch, but as I found out, the bag itself is actually quite important, because here's the set, and it doesn't actually have any way to keep it together, so it's gonna come apart unless you put it in the mesh bag and cinch it up nice and tight. Then it's not going anywhere. So what we have is a two-piece cook set, good for one person hiking, backpacking. This is made out of aluminum and stainless steel. I'm guessing the stainless steel is for the handles. It's a pretty thin material. Obviously, it's meant to be pretty light. You get a big bowl or pot and a smaller fry pan, cup, another little bowl, which obviously acts as the cover for the big pot, and it can be used on its own. They have these handles that fold out, and they have this nice silicone coating to keep them cool when you're heating stuff up. And while the box is generic, it just says cooking set out of doors, no company name or anything. The set itself does have this logo, you can see that, this is PF, and the company is Pet Faru. The only other thing really to say about these is that, if you can see this here, there are measurements on the inside of the pot. They go from 200 to 800 milliliters and 12 to 24 ounces, so you can see this is going to hold roughly 800 milliliters. Could put a little bit more in there, but wouldn't want to go too much further. The dimensions on these are, the pot is 122 by 105 centimeters, and the lid is 115 by 60 centimeters. I believe the weight is about 330 grams. So this is the smallest that they have. It looks like they have a couple other ones too. This is obviously for like one person, maybe 1 to 2 people. They have one for 2 to 3 people. A few different options, all the same style of pots and pans with the lids. And so this is the cooking stuff that you get with this set. And $20 may seem like a lot to pay for just that, but you're also getting the stove, which comes in this little plastic case. The case itself is not waterproof or anything. It looks sort of like it's something proof, but it's not going to stop water from going in here. And even if it did, it does have a little hole in the bottom, so it's not, obviously not meant to be waterproof, just a case for the stove. And this is the stove. It's for little propane tanks, canisters. And you can actually buy the pots and pans separately. You can also buy the stove separately too, if you don't want to get the whole set. This is the kind of thing you can pay a lot more for this. It seems to be pretty good quality. It's nice and heavy. I haven't actually used this yet, so this is going to be the first test for that. But you get this little stove here, and these things fold out here. They have these little feet that can fold out to put the pots and pans on. And the burner control right here. And one thing that's nice about this is it has a piezo ignition on it. You press this little button. You obviously can't see the spark there, but there's a little spark going. so you don't have to worry about having matches or a lighter. It's kind of a nice touch too. And all this stuff looks pretty nice, but the real test, of course, is in the test. And before we start, actually, I did mention that this is what you get when you order. You get the pot and pan, or the pot and the lid, mixed together, and the stove. And as you can see, there's quite a bit extra room in there, so you might think, well, that's kind of, even though it's could come in handy, it's kind of bulky to take with me on a, backpacking. But the extra room, this does take fuel canisters, so with the extra room you can actually put your fuel canister right in here and take that along with you. And you can also put something else in there, like this little utensil set here I got, also from LighTake, which will be reviewed separately. So you can maximize the space a little bit. And it's a little bit more worth the amount of space this takes up. Now we're going to try and do a little bit of cooking. Take out the stove. Make sure this is off. This is basically a righty-tighty, lefty-loosey kind of deal. So we'll turn that off. Put it in our fuel canister. Obviously I have one of these small 110 gram ones, so it's not going to last for a terribly long time. Let's see if that's working. Okay. Okay, I had my first fail with this. The piezo igniter is working. I checked it in the dark. It is working, but it doesn't seem to want to ignite this for some reason. So, despite having this neat little feature, I'm going to have to go the old-fashioned way and use some matches. And once you do that, it works quite nicely. Can't see it in the bright sun, but it is on. I'm gonna make some Mountain House lasagna. It calls for 1 3/4 cups of water. I want to go a little bit low and go with 12 instead of 14. On the stove, I have the feed out. And let's see how long that takes to get a good boil. See, the piezo igniter gets red hot really quickly. Almost 3 minutes in, we're getting pretty close. And close, looks like I need to get the Mountain House ready. Should I get rid of this? And in about 5 minutes, we got a good boil going. There's no scorching on the bottom, that's nice. And the handle is indeed nice and cool. No heat coming off of that at all. Here's my 12 ounces of water. Close it up and let that get ready. And in the meantime, boiling water is one thing. It's not really too hard to do. So I'm going to try to do one more cooking thing with this. I'll try again with the igniter. Still nothing. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and cook an egg. I'm going to keep it kind of low so I don't scorch the middle of that. Well, they do say that cookware is non-stick. I did put a little bit of cooking spray in there just to be sure. Especially with the intense heat that's going to be right in the middle. She's not quite as well balanced as doing it the other way, but I'm going to use the pot as the lid for the lid. Just to get it a little more even. Let's see what we got here. A little bit well done on the bottom. If I'd done this scrambled, it probably would have been a lot more even, but doesn't look too bad. Actually, you know what? Let me flip it over. Just to make sure the yolk's done. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough heat. See how the lasagna's doing. Give that a couple more minutes, we'll check everything out. See if this lasagna is ready to go. Yep. It's good. So obviously one of the nice things about Mountain House pouch is that it's got the flat bottom. You can eat it right out of there. But since we have these cooking utensils, cooking tools, I was going to make use of them. All you really need is boiling water for this to be good, but it is good. Let's check out the egg. And it's good too. I wish I had thought to flip it a little bit earlier. I kind of wanted to just have it on one side, make it look pretty, but other than being a little bit overdone on the bottom, which is my fault, that's good too. So overall, I do think that this is a great value, except for the fact that for whatever reason, my igniter didn't work. I get this for a review, so I'm not too disappointed, but I would definitely be disappointed if I had spent about $20 on this set. And hopefully the company would send a replacement that would work. Let me try one more time. I did get it to work once, after it had been used. Still nothing. So, it was the lightweight cooking set with stove from LighTake.com. Alright, hopefully somebody is still watching this, because I got a little fix for this. This is something I really did want to like, and obviously it's kind of hard to give it a great review when something that's really integral to it, and the lighter here, doesn't work. If I knew it wasn't going to work, I would prefer to just gotten a stove that didn't have a lighter, if I was going to need to use matches anyway. But I did want to show again, I kind of wanted to bring it inside to show the flame, because you couldn't see it outside. and I had an idea about something that could be a reason for this not working. Because first off, I did want to show that the igniter itself does work. You should be able to see that spark. So it's not that it wasn't working, just for some reason it wouldn't ignite the gas. And so we'll take a look again. Turn the gas on, and you can see the spark. But yet it's not lighting. And then it occurred to me, well, what if I was to move it away from the burner a little bit? And you can kind of see it's sort of at a little bit of an angle like this. So I thought, what if I move it back a little bit? And when I do that, it actually works. And one complaint I did have with this is that it doesn't really have a real precise burner control. It kind of goes from a little to pretty quick. But, and obviously you get this, the red hut on the igniter right there. Kind of changes the color there. But you can see it gives you a good flame. Which, like I said, I did want to kind of showcase that since you couldn't see that outside. And the best news of all is that it does actually work as it's supposed to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just, there's this little, I don't know if you can see this one, get this out of the way, this one little metal flange right here is sticking up. I'm just going to bend that over to push this away. I guess it was just a slight flaw in how this is manufactured. But just to show one more time, this does indeed work. A little erratic, but it does work.